Quiet. This one. Everyone. Oh, sorry. Settle down, please. I ask that you all please silence your cell phones before the event to honor today's speakers. Our first speaker today is Colton Safai. Colton will be introduced by his father, Mike Safai.
Okay, well, asked me last night to do this, so I think he wanted me to suffer just like he's. Okay. I want to tell a story. He was a kid, and especially he loved to look at people in the face and mimic their expression. And he used to try to make you mad, and then when he make you mad, you do this and you make and look at you, and then. So one time, this is a little story about him. And how old he was going to HCM. We get a call. We're freaking out. We're running over there. We get in there. Pouring rain. Is in December. We pull in the parking lot. All the kids are standing out there. Parents are standing down there. We see Becky. Sorry. Hey, Becky, what's going on? He goes, well, I guess the fire alarm is going off. We're like, oh, okay. So I look around, and here's holding Colton in his arms. So I went on there, and I said, what happened? Well, Colton pulled the fire alarm. And I looked at him, big smile on his face, and he's staring at my face. Like, oh my God, this is embarrassing. And it's pouring rain, it's cold. So we grab him, we walk back to the car. Of course, mom sits in the car and just telling him, this is not that. We get home, we slam him on the chair, tell him this, and that, and mimic that. So anyway, 2 weeks later, I'm going Christmas shopping. So I take Colton with me to the mall and play down there. So I get have him in my hand, and I'm walking to the mall door. In the mall, all of a sudden the alarm goes off. And I looked at him. Well, he's in my arm. It can't be him. But then he's turning around and looking at my face. I'm like, oh, this is not good. I turn and the handle is pulled. So while I'm walking by, and pull the handle. Turn around, and I ran to my car, and I'm slamming, putting his seatbelts on. While I'm putting his, and he's like keep looking at me and making the faces I'm making. I'm like, this is crazy. I get in the car. People are pouring out the mall, driving away, and here is the alarm. Fire machines are coming in. And I'm like, oh my, this is not good. So he loved to read people, but one thing about Colton is always been one thing we love to do with on vacation. But anyway, we go today, and he's up for it. So he's gonna tell you guys a story of our very typical Safai adventure vacations. I'm gonna introduce you guys to Colton.
During my 9th grade midway trip, this was before COVID was a thing. During the trip, all sorts of weird symptoms. It was like a cold, bad headache, and body. My parents thought I was just being an angsty teenager, like I always am. But looking back, we all agreed I had. Even when I was sick, my parents wanted me to go on all these adventures. Our first trip was a snorkeling trip. We all left on the boat, and I noticed this woman who kept trying to come first. We got on the boat and sailed for about to a sunken ship area, and the captain said, life jacket, flippers, and snorkel. A woman who always wanted to be first cut in front of me and went up to the captain to get her snorkeling gear. She looked him straight in the eyes and said, I don't know how to. The captain looked crazy, saying, are you kidding me? My parents were trying to laugh. The whole situation was so crazy. The captain said, "It is going to be a problem." The woman had the goal to ask back. The captain said no. He was clearly upset that she was taking up his time while he was trying to get everyone else on the boat. The captain then helped everyone else put their equipment on, nagging at him, asking if she could still go into the water. The captain was so fed up that eventually he said, if you want to go in the water, about it. He got into the water, not knowing how to swim, not to drown. She helped her out, so I guess, but it was still very unusual. Ended up being a good day. I saw and on the second day, I woke up feeling worse. My parents didn't want me to miss out, so they literally dragged me out of bed, explaining we were going on a jungle walk to see monkeys. Because it was a small Costa Rica, I shouldn't have a woman who didn't know how to swim was going to be there. We saw amazing animals, a sloth, a bird who was very good at camouflage, and a lot of bats. The guide was careful to be quiet when he showed us the animals. The woman, again, thinks she's the person on the expedition. She went up, run in front of the animals, pictures of them, and scare them all away. So in the women or anyone else on the expedition. So the monkeys, a giant lizard, a sloth, vibing up in the trees. So we even of it with the woman who didn't know how to swim. It was a cool day. The third day, we went whitewater rafting, and it was just the three of us in a raft. The guides were really nice. They were warning us about what to do if the raft were to flip on top of us. This is not foreshadowing, by the way. They said if the raft were to flip, you push the of you and position so your feet are first and you don't hit your head. I love water rafting, but this was different. What I wasn't aware of was the first round is a guinea pig for the round of rapids. So whenever it was our turn to be first, we hit a massive rock to flip. Raft out by on one side, out. The raft flipped. Our guy jumped out the rocks. Quoting him, he jumped out onto. I was scared of drowning. My mom were all stuck under the raft. One guy jumped into the water and my dad out, but I was going through the procedure while my mom was screaming her head doing cartwheels under the water. My mom screaming every single time her head popped out. It was kind of amusing. I came under the raft, raft back on top of me, and I was then stuck under the raft again. I managed to finally get free and exited the rapids, and my mom somehow managed to get out as well. My mom was dad because I had a moment of concern that my dad was still trapped under the raft, but we saw him on the rocks and all was well. We all got back on our raft, and our family just laughed at the entire experience, a typical response to a traumatic situation. So our guide, thinking hour, decided to make a. He says, "Sorry guys, I was on a 3-month losing anybody." We decided to then buy the wonderfully crisp pictures that the photograph took of us dying. Later, we made the mistake of looking in the reviews of the company. 3 months prior, a bachelor party went, and the groom with 6 friends all died at the party. I was a crazy trip, important enough to share as a senior speech. I mean, I had COVID, and the woman who couldn't swim could have drowned on her snorkeling. Could have been attacked by rampaging monkeys on her walk. We absolutely could have died on that. Things happen. We lived and we laughed at all. We had no any of those things though. I guess I could have looked at the raft. Still anyways. We took our chances, we enjoyed our vacation, to tell the tale. May you all take risks in your life to tell the tale. I also have the pictures of me dying if anyone wants to see them.
Our second speaker, Heather Stanley. Skylar will be
like adventure after that speech. I don't have adventure, Skylar. I'm sorry. All right. An author I enjoy, Mary Davis, everyday speech, but I repeat myself quite often. Today I choose calm over chaos, serenity over peace over perfection, and faith over fear. As much as I enjoy these words, I think I just say them. Seriously. Have you ever seen Skylar when students begin to lines or in a strings when the next concert earn and you're out throughout the most challenging? Look over at Skylar. You'll see her relax her shoulders, focus her thoughts to work. Her grace in approaching all is, and luckily it's usually infectious. Where does that come from? I have a few theories. It has many furry friends at home who give her joy. Holly, Snowball, and this might be the soft cost for Skylar's success. Mr. Turner, I have yet to prove causation on the theory, but I'm hoping Skylar can help. Or alternatively, might come from coloring. From biology class on, Skylar has beautiful, most amazing notes. Skylar, sketch for you how a DNA section looks exactly like a frosted cupcake, and she will show you her wowing artistry. A third theory is that Skylar's grace and aplomb and her directly strings of her cello. Skylar has many beautiful, kind, and loving friends, but might be the best friend of all. And again, like a true friend, Skylar never takes for granted, but instead invests herself into a relationship. Here's one more theory of why and how Skylar is internally the world for motion or but she finds joy in building her own. She found the things that enjoy to enjoy them. Writing, which does finds content situation she finds herself. I will what I know each I will find joy in.
I was in the printer's office during a college counseling meeting. Specifically, the part in which I was listening and playing cello. To help me fill out the activity description, Ms. Prince first asked me what I was involved in. I answered. Then she asked me, what do you enjoy about playing cello? And my mind went completely blank. I think, oh, unfair, maybe even how irrelevant the question was. You see, I don't necessarily play cello because I enjoy it. Honestly, playing cello is a large self-hatred and the unhealthiest relationship in my life. So when asked what I enjoy about it, I think for a while, I tried to cellist to see if there's an answer. My first experience was were actually in my middle school. I pretty much just played cello. I was always one of the least players, didn't take private lessons, just wasn't interested. Like, it really I began to like playing cello. I started taking lessons in half a year. I was trying to take over a portion of my life without any real thought that might lead. I came to Cleveland in 9th grade. Opportunity to continue playing an ensemble here. A number of years I've been playing my instrument, and lessons I've taken actually in this new environment, even as a 17th cellist. I continued to progress as a cello player. I ran cello. The poor quality instruments I have, and I severely needed an upgrade. As my friends will know, I study daily for my friends in a way that was uncomfortable. I struggled to learn music simply because the quality of my instrument could support it. I became my instruments, and cellos are expected to continue to suffer. From my junior year, where I either needed a better instrument or just needed help. For better or for worse, a year ago. My cello finally found an area that I tried out for a week and then purchased because it was supposed to be over. I did not immediately feel much satisfaction from having this new instrument because I first had to adjust to it. Soon I for the C string that was actually playable. But while I definitely got better with the cello, this was where the real challenge with myself began. All the imperfections in me. And so all the time my hand slips, a note comes out wrong, or I just can't get a piece of sound how I'd like, I'm flooded with feelings of self-hatred and inadequacy. In my lowest moments, I'm nearly paralyzed by emotions, and unable to even play through a song. I just end up sitting there, thinking of how much better without that cruel instrument. Compared to cello in other ways, because my sight reading and rhythm skills are lacking. Try to eliminate an opportunity, anxiety, and need to learn to navigate myself. In short, as a playing cello, I've been full of frustration since. Find some pleasure in it, right? Well, strings last year fun. Enjoy being a part of play the music. I've been waiting for literally 2 years. Deeper, I find that there is I like the music with the perfect range. I enjoy having a but deep down, I find that playing cello has become such an inseparable part of my identity, so thoroughly integrated into my consciousness that I can't help but to love it. It's not merely something I do, it's a fundamental part of who I am. I would say that my cello has become like my second voice, so I consider the little confidence I have in using my own voice and how no one can understand the way I speak, and realize that my cello is my primary voice. I spent more time with my along with that. My need to be able to play cello has manifested itself in several ways. Actually, an irrational fear. I cannot deny how playing an instrument has given my life more meaning. But I have to remember that the scores I've made only mean as much to me as they do because of what I've experienced. You need to practice every day. You don't see progress. But if you like else is only destined to be disappointed. But when I consider the skills I've acquired to overcome to be the musician that I am today, I start to see my relationship with cello. Maybe I'm not perfect. Maybe I'll never see what it means to be a cellist, but at least I'm still trying. Through my own hard work and dedication, I've been able to play cello at a level experience. My point in telling you all this is to remind you that nothing is achieving ever. You can't simply give up when times get tough and expect to succeed. You have to be willing to I also want to encourage you to never be limited by your own sense of inadequacy. While I certainly need to take my advice in that respect, if you try new things, good enough is that you grow and learn. Your own view of yourself is often the most way of reaching your potential. So, what I enjoy is that it represents not only a significant part of and how I spend my time, regardless of the challenges that arise. Unfortunately, that statement needs all the context I just gave you. Common App only allows for one activity description, only 2% of everything I've said in the speech. But that word is just another obstacle I'll have to overcome.
Those speeches were so good. Let's have another round of applause for Colton and Skylar. And